So, good morning to all. Myself, Manoj Kr Bundela, Assistant Professor, Suresh Gyan Bihar University. So, today we will discuss about the packaging of horticulture produce. Content. First, we will discuss about the introduction, then packaging define means definition of packaging, then packaging materials, functions of packaging, packaging points, packaging industries. We will discuss about the different packaging industries, type of packaging materials, and reference. First is introduction. So, as we know that after harvesting of the fruits and vegetables in the farm field, we have to pack them and transport into the either we have to transport into the market or we have to transport into the storage house. So for transportation, we have to do the good packaging. We have to use the good packaging materials. And packaging materials is also different according to the commodity. Like for onion, for potatoes, we can use the gunny bags. We can use some. We can use baskets. We use some in pallets. We use some bags. We use. So these are the different packaging materials we use for the different produce. So there is a particular packaging material that we use for a particular produce only. So like for apple, if we use gunny bags, so definitely they will get damaged. So normally, whenever we select the packaging material, so it is very important the selection of the packaging materials. Packaging fresh fruits and vegetables is one of the more important step in long and complicated journey from growers to the consumers, because from growers to the consumers it reaches by the roads or by the transportation by the roads only, and roads are not so much good. So if roads are not good, then what will happen? Due to the unbalance of the vehicles, there is a chance of bruising will be occur, damage will be occur, and it will be not accepted by the consumers. Bag, carrots, hampers, baskets, curtains, bulk bins, and palletized containers are convenient containers for handling, transporting, and marketing of fresh produce. So these are the different containers we use for the transportation of produce. More than 1,500 different type of packages are used for produce, and the continuous number continuously to increase as the industries introduce the new packaging materials and concept. So as we know, there is a different type of packaging materials we are using from last many years. But now also the different companies are developing the different type of packaging materials, and then have the different concept also. So that means they are also used, and the last materials means whatever we are using that is also used. But the new materials, whatever the coming in market, they are low, not so much costly, and they are more effective as compared to the old products. Packaging and packing materials contributes a significant cost to produce industry. Therefore, it is important that packers, shippers, buyers, and consumers have a clear understanding of the wide range of packaging options available. Packaging. Packaging is defined as a mean or a system by which a fresh produce or the processed product will reach from the production center to the ultimate consumer in safe and sound condition at an affordable price. Because if we not go for a particular packaging, then what will happen? There is a chance of bruising, and it will be not accepted by the consumers. Normally, whatever product we are preparing, we have to sell into the market only. But if the product is not good, then it will be not accepted by the consumers. So whenever we go for transportation of the product from one means from the growing area or from the storage house to the market or to the consumers, we have to take care the packaging. Like this, in this picture you can see these are the tomatoes, these are the grapes, they are packed into the plastic. These are applied. So these type of packaging materials we can use so that we can store them for the longer period of the time. Packaging materials. The following are among the more important general requirement and functions of food packaging materials. They must be non-toxic, compatible with the specific food. Sometimes what will happen if sometimes we pack the fruits into some plastic things we can use. So sometimes some fruits they will react with that plastic and they will cause the spoilage. So that type of materials we not use that particular fruits. Means whatever the materials that is made for that particular fruits or vegetables, that only we can use for that. Otherwise, there is a chance of there's sometimes they will attack of toxicity also. Sanitary protection we have to do, moisture and fat protection. The moisture we have to maintain the moisture content. If the moisture content will be more, the respiration rate will be more, and there is a chance of decaying of the fruits. Gas and odor production means normally we have to reduce the oxygen content in that and we increase the carbon dioxide because for the process of photosynthesis they will take the oxygen release the carbon dioxide. Light protection means they will not directly affect to the sunlight because sunlight directly will come on the fruits and vegetables. It will take the water content from the that fruits and vegetables. Resistant to impact means any type of impact it is. Transparency means we use the transparent product packaging material so that it will be visible to the consumers and they will purchase it easily. Tamper proofness and easy to opening. Whatever containers we use, they are easily open. If they will not be open easily, means that is also not accepted by the consumers. Pouring features when we go for pouring, resell features. Sometimes we can use the product which are we can use again. We can use that. So like this, easy to disposal. If we are using any materials that are easily disposable, they will not dispose means they will cause the means they will not means if the disposal facilities are not available, then it will not good for the nature. Size, shape, and weight limitations. So according to the size and shape, we have to use the packaging materials, and we have to give the limitation of the weight. Like we have to pack the 250 gram, 500 gram, 1 kg. If we pack the 500 kg, then one consumers will come. He need only 250 grams. Then how he will purchase the 5 kg? So according to that, we have to give the limitations. Appearance and printability means by appearing it will be look goods and it will be easily printable. Low cost is also a matter because whenever the any consumers will purchase the any product, he will just check the cost. If it is a costly, then some consumers like middle class means they will not purchase this. So if the cost is less, then middle class persons will also purchase. And in India, the middle class persons are more. Special features, it has some unique features like it will be look good, it will have some special features, so it will be attract the consumers and it will accepted by the consumers. The functions of packaging to assembles the produce into the convenient unit for handling. A properly designed produce container should contain, protect, and identify the produce, satisfying everyone from growers to the consumers. Next is packaging points. Like whatever the packaging points we have recyclable, मतलब recycling we can do biodegradable. It will be easily degrade if we go for degradation of that. Varieties, sales appeal, shelf life of the produce is more. Packaging industries, studded nets and so net will be used for the package. Sometimes we use the net, plastic nets we are used like onion, potatoes, garlic, ginger, hard fruits like pear. We use the pack like you can see in this diagram. They are plastic. They are called plastic nets. You can see in market also. The plastic nets we are using. So normally it is used for the onion, potato, garlic. So these bags will help to retail the business to pack 255 to 50 kg produce on farm. So normally in this pack, retail bags they are developed by the retail, so they are called as retail bags. So these retail bags we can keep the fruits like 25 to 50 kg bags are there. They are available in 25 to 50 like onion potatoes. They are available in this range only. Primary and secondary containers. Some materials are provided with the efficient primary containers by nature, such as nuts, oranges, egg, and they like in packaging. These are generally need only a secondary outer box, wart or drum to hold units together and give the gross protection. Like in orange, eggs, and nets, what we have to use, we use the directly. They will means we use the materials containers hermetic closure. Closure means two conditions of the greatest significance in packaging are hermetic and non-hermetic closure. In terms of hermetic means the containers which are absolutely impermeable to gas and vapors through it and entirety includes its seams. On the other hand, a container which prevents entry of microorganisms in many instance will be non-hermetic. Hermetically sealed means it will be not allow the any microorganism inside this. Non-hermetically means sometime what will happen there is a type of microorganisms inside. So normally we will go for hermetically sealed. So it will not allow the microorganism and we can store them for the longer period of the time. The most common hermetic containers are rigid metal cans or glass bottles. Glass bottle we can use or rigid metal cans we can use. They are usually hermetically closed. Although faculty closures can make them non-hermetic. Type of packaging materials. They are moisture resistant materials. Moisture resistance means water will not go inside that. Like we can use the polyethylene films we use, polyester films we use, polyvinyl films we use, aluminum foils we use, lamination we can do, cellulose films we use, rubber hydrochloride we can use, cellulose acetate we can use, or glass containers we use. So these all materials are moisture resistant means the water will not enter inside this. So for that normally we use the this type of packaging materials. Second is wood. So in wood the pallets like literally from the base on which the most fresh produce is delivered to the consumers. Plates were first used during the World War II as an efficient way of move the goods. So plates are using it first, Second World War only they are using. Depending on the size of the produce, the package, a single pallet plate may carry more than 20 to over 100 individual packages. Means in one pallet only we can keep the more than 20 to 100 packages we can keep in it. Next is pallet beans. The substantial wooden pallet beans of milled lumber or the plywood and the primarily used to move the produce from the field or the orchard to the packaging house. Depending on the application and capacities, they may range from 12 to more than 50 buses. Means 12 to more than 50 buses pallet beans we can use. These you can see the wooden pallets. In wooden pallets, these are the wooden pallets. In that one wooden pallet only, we can keep the so many small plates we can keep and with it. And these are the pallet beans. They will prepare by the wooden pallet beans. In that we can transport the fruits and vegetables. Wow, wire mounted carrots. Although the alternatives are available, the wooden wire mounted carrots are used extensively to snap beans, sweet corn, and several other commodities that require a hydro-cooling. Means some commodity they require the hydro-cooling. In that we can use the wire bound carrots. Wire bound carrots are sturdy, rigid, and have more high staking strength that is essential and unaffected by the water because they are free from the water means water will not go inside them. So these are mainly used for the snap-in and sweet corn. Next is wooden carrots and lungs. The wooden carrots were extensively used for the apple, stone fruits, and potatoes. Have been almost totally replaced by the other type of containers. The 15, 20, and 25-pound wooden lengths still used to bunch grapes and more specialty crops are being gradually replaced by the less costly alternatives. So these are wire mounted carrots. These are the like wooden carrots only, but they are rounded by the pallets, so they will make more hard. Oh, these are wooden crates or lungs. These are the wooden crates or lungs in that we can give means normally we can give the fruits and we will it will look good also and it will reduce the moisture content of the wooden basket and hampers. The wire reinforced wood container basket and hampers of different size were once used for a wide variety of crops, from the strawberry and sweet potato. They are durable and may be nested from the efficient transport when impeded. So the wooden basket we can use for the strawberry and sweet potatoes. Pulp container. A container made from the recycled papers, pulp, and starch binders are mainly used for the small consumers packages of fresh produce. The pulp containers are available in a large variety of shape and size and are relatively inexpensive in standard size. Next is paper or mess bag. Consumers pack a potatoes and onion are about the only produce item now packed in the paper bags. In addition to the potato and onion, cabbage, turnip, citrus, and some special items are packed in a mess bag. So sweet corns are still be packed in a mess bag in some markets. In addition to its low cost, the mess bag have the advantage of un- uninhibited airflow. Good ventilation is particularly beneficial for the onion. So normally we use the mess bag or gunny bag, mess bag we use for the transportation of potatoes and onion. Because in that mess bag what will happen, the air will be passed and it is a good ventilation is available for the in mess bag. So mesh bag is used for the onion, cabbage, turnip, and chilies. So this is a wooden basket and hamper. These are the wooden basket and hamper. Pulp containers. These are the pulp containers. We can use the fruit trays, apple jar, berry tray. So the tomato tray. These are the trays like the trays that are comes for the egg. Like these trays will come in market for the like but for the particular produce like tomato tray, berry tray, apple tray, paper and mesh bag. So these are the mesh bag. As you can see in market it is available. Mesh bag. Mesh bag is normally used for the onion and potato. Next is modified atmospheric packaging. The shelf life of perishable foods and meat, poultry, fish, fruits and vegetables, and bakery product is limited in presence of normal air by the two principal factors: the chemical effect of atmospheric oxygen and the growth of aerobic spoilage microorganisms. So, modified atmospheric storage means what we have to do. Packaging means we have to remove the oxygen content in that particular packaging materials and we increase the carbon dioxide content. Then what will happen? The atmosphere will be changed. Means in that it contain more oxygen, more carbon dioxide, and less oxygen. So what will happen? The oxygen content is not there, so there is no attack of any microorganism. Second, the respiration rate will be reduced. If the respiration rate will be reduced, means we can store them for the longer period of the time. These factors, either individually or in association with one another, bring about the changes in odor, flavor, color, and texture, leading to the overall deterioration in the quality. So, overall, the quality will be reduced. Modified atmospheric packaging is replaced of air in a pack with a single gas or a mixture of gases. The proportion of each component is fixed when the mixture is introduced. The normal composition of air is 21% oxygen, 78% nitrogen, and less than 0.1% carbon dioxide. But in modified atmospheric packaging, what we have to do in packaging, we have to reduce the oxygen content while increase the level of carbon dioxide. Means oxygen will reduce and carbon dioxide will increase. Or nitrogen has been sold in significant, or we can give the we can add the nitrogen. So what will happen? It will extend the shelf life of perishable foods of chill temperature. Means if we keep into the cold temperature, it will be extend the shelf life of the produce. So in modified atmospheric packaging like modified atmospheric storage, same. In that also we have to increase the oxygen content, and we can reduce the oxygen content and increase the carbon dioxide content, or we will add the oxygen, so that the respiration rate will be reduced and we will increase the shelf life. And if oxygen is not available, so there is no attack of microorganisms also. Next is advantage and disadvantage of modified newspaper packaging. Advantage: it will increase the shelf life, allow the less frequent loading of retail display sleeves. Retro- Reduction in retail waste. The retail waste will be reduced. Improve the Improved presentation, clear view of the product, and all around visible. Hygienic Hygienic, stackable, packed, sealed, and free from the product, drip and odor. Easy separation of sliced product. Little or no need of chemical preservative. We don't need to use any chemical preservative. Increase the distribution area and reduce the transport cost due to the less frequent deliveries. So these are the major advantages of modified atmospheric air. Disadvantage: capital cost of gas packaging machinery, cost of gas and packaging materials, cost of analytical equipment to ensure the correct gas mixer and being used. So these are some costly means whatever we have to purchase the product, they are costly. And to maintain the means how much oxygen we have to maintain, how much oxygen we have to remove, how much carbon dioxide we have to maintain, that also we have to check. Host of quality assurance system to prevent the distribution of leakers, the cost of analytical equipments to ensure the correct case mixer and being used, increase the pack volume, will, which will adversely affect the transport cost and retail display space. The potential growth of food-borne pathogen due to the temperature absence by retailers and consumers. Benefit of MAP are lost once the pack is opened or leaks. Means normally if the pack if have any leakage is there, anything is there, leakage is there, anything is there, then what will happen? The whatever the carbon dioxide content is there in that pack, it will be removed and the oxygen will be entering that. So after that it is not useful. After that the quality will reduce and it will be not accepted by the consumer. Means the shelf life will also reduce and there is attack of microorganisms. If there is small mistake, means small hole will be developed. So there is attack of pathogens. So normally whenever we go for packaging of any food and product, we have to take care of that. That the oxygen level of oxygen and level of carbon dioxide and nitrogen. We can add the nitrogen also. We can remove the oxygen and we can add the nitrogen. So we have to maintain the level of both of that. If the level is not maintained, then or sometimes what will happen? It will be open or it will be leak. So it will be after leaking, what will happen? The oxygen will be entering that and it will get the there is attack of microorganism and it will affect the quality of the produce. So these are the you can see the plastic packs we can using for the packaging, like these are the grapes, strawberry. So these are cherries. So these are packed in a plastic container. So we can store them for the they are airtight containers we are using. Because the air will not pass that. Because if air will pass means the oxygen content will be increased. If the oxygen content will be increased, the attack of microorganisms will be started. And sometime what will happen if the oxygen will increase, the respiration process of the fruits will start. Because as we already discussed, that fruits are live organs like human beings. They will take the oxygen and release the carbon dioxide content during the process of photosynthesis. So like this only during the process of respiration, like these fruits, they will take the oxygen and release the carbon dioxide, and then the respiration there will be start. So whatever the carbohydrate is present in that, it will be used in that respiration, and it will reduce the shelf life of the product. So that's all for today's. Thank you all. Thank you. So good morning to all. Myself Manoj Bundela, Assistant Professor Suresh Gyan Vihar University, Jaipur. So today we will discuss about the pre-harvest factors that affect the quality on the post-harvest shelf life of fruits and vegetables. So pre-harvest factor means before harvesting of the fruits and vegetables. What is the different factors that will affect the post-harvest shelf life of fruits and vegetables? So as we already know, in India there is a post-harvest losses are so much in fruits and vegetables. Almost 2 to 40% fruits and vegetables are losses. To minimizing these losses can be increase their supply without bringing additional land under cultivation is necessary. It will also help keep pollution under control. Improper handling and storage causes physical damage due to the tissue breakdown. Mechanical losses include bruising, cracking, cuts, microbial spoilage by the fungi and bacteria. So we already discussed that there is a different after harvesting there is a take when we go for transportation of fruits and vegetables from one area to the another area. So there is a cause of some bruising is there, cracking, cuts, microbial spoilage. Whereas physiological losses include change in the respiration, transpiration, pigments, organic acid, and flavor. About 36% of vegetables decays due to the soft rot bacteria, whereas 30% of fruits decay due to penicillium species alone. So the losses can be minimized by the proper pre and post harvest treatment. So if we give the proper pre and post harvest treatment, we can minimize the post harvest losses. So pre harvest factors that affect the post harvest shelf life in that first is selection of varieties. So varieties which herald better keeping quality, slower the ripening, and longer the shelf life under eminent conditions, and better processing quality should be developed and commercially grown. Varieties with shorter shelf life are generally prone to higher post-harvest losses. Varieties which have thick peel, high firmness, low respiration rate, and low ethylene production rates would usually have the longer storage life and should be selected at the time of planting of orchard. So means when we select the any orchard, when we prepare the any orchard, when we select the any varieties of any fruit crops, so what we have to select, what we have to check in them means whatever varieties we have to select that have the means that fruits have the longer shelf life. So how we can increase the longer shelf life with if they have the thick peel, high firmness, respiration that is low because if respiration rate is high means they will decay early. Like ethylene production is more, like in banana ethylene production is more, so it will ripen early. So we can select the varieties which have low ethylene content. So these are the different factors that we can use when we select the any varieties. Like we can see the examples. Like in pea, normally in pea we have to select the early type of varieties. So if we select the early type of varieties, they will come early in the market, like Alkyl, BL7, PM2. So these are the some important varieties which are comes under the early type of varieties. Second is French bean. In French bean, we have to select the Pusa Himlata SPM1. So these are the pole type of varieties. So in pole type of varieties means they are continuously grow, means they are like bale. So they are continuously grow. This type of varieties they will give the more yield. In apple, we have to select the Naomi, Michael, School, Skolmit, Anna, and Tama. So these are low chilling varieties, means they require the low chilling hours. As we already know that in mango, chilling is very important. If chilling temperature is not available for the mango, so it will if chilling temperature is not available for the apple, so it will not get ripe, ripened. So for ripening of the fruits of apple, chilling temperature is very important. So we have to select the varieties, low chilling varieties. Mac, McFree, Siri Price, Jonah Free, Cook 12, and Cook 13. They are escape resistant varieties. So escape is also one major problem in apple. Apple escape we can say. So that also we can select the varieties which are resistant to escape. Next is spoon type of varieties like red spoon, red chief, hardy spore, and silver spore. So these are the varieties, spore type varieties we have to select when we go for when we prepare the any orchard. Second factor is environmental factors. So environmental factors are three types of factors. First one is light, second is temperature, third is humidity and rainfall. So light, normally the plants they require a particular photoperiodism. Means they require a particular light time, light intensity for their photosynthesis. Light regulates the several physiological processes like chlorophyll synthesis, photoperiodism, respiration, and stomata opening. So that is all depends on the light. The duration, the intensity, and quality of light affect the quality of fruits and vegetables at harvest. Most of the produce needs high light intensity. Absorption of red light that is 625 to 700 nanometer through pigments. Phytochrome is essential for carbohydrate synthesis, which determines the shelf life of produce. Citrus and mango fruits produces in full sun generally had a thinner skin, a lower weight and lower juice content and lower acidity but higher TSS content. So normally, if the sunlight is fully sunlight is available to the citrus and mango, so the quality of the mango fruits will be good. Citrus fruit grown in shade may have the less susceptible to chilling injury when subsequently stored in cold temperature. So if the temperature is less, the quality will be reduced. Same in case of tomatoes, leaf shading of the fruit produce a deeper red color during the ripening than in the case of those exposed to the sunlight. The side of the fruit that have exposed to the sunlight will generally firmer than the non-exposed side. Means that side which are exposed to the sunlight that is more firm as compared to the that is not exposed to the sunlight. In generally, the lower the light intensity, lower the ascorbic acid content of the plant tissue. The leafy vegetable leaves are larger and thinner under condition of low light intensity. Seasonal fluctuation and time of the day at harvest will greatly affect the post-harvest quality of the produce. Generally, produce harvested early in the morning or late in the evening hours exhibit a longer post-harvest life than the produce harvested during the hot time of the day. Means normally the harvesting time is early in the morning or we can harvest in the late in the evening we harvest. We not harvest the fruits and vegetables in afternoon time because in afternoon time the temperature is more. So if we harvest them due to the hot temperature, whatever the water content is there in that particular fruits and vegetable, it will be get evaporate, and we can't store them for the longer period of the time. So normally the time of harvesting is early morning or late evening. If long days onion in temperate area grown into the shorter days in tropics area, in this and it lead to the very poor storage quality. So in temperate area, whatever the onion we are growing in temperate area, that we have to grow in temperate only. It then to be grow in tropical area, that we have to grow in tropical area only. If we exchange that, then the quality will be reduced. Means quality will be affected. Is temperature. Temperature has the direct influence on physiological and biochemical process related to the plant growth and yield. The higher temperature during the field condition decrease the shelf life and quality of the produce. Means if the temperature is more, then what will happen? The shelf life and quality of the produce will be decrease. Higher temperature during the fruiting season of tomato leads to the quick ripening of the fruits on and off the plant. If the temperature is more, then what will happen? Tomato will be ripen early. Means in small size tomato only they will start ripening and they will not accept by the consumers. Orange grown in tropics tends to have higher TSS than grown in subtropics because in tropics area the temperature is medium and in subtropical area the temperature is more. So orange require a medium temperature. So if they grown in medium temperature, the TSS content is more. In subtropics, the TSS content will be less. However, tropical grown orange tends to green in color and peel less easily, and it is due to the lower diurnal temperature that occurs in the tropics. Lettuce crops are typically produced in areas with cool days and night to achieve the firm but mild flavored heads. If the crop is exposed to the higher temperature or drought, a bitter flavors can be rapidly developed and the leaves become less tender. The green beans grown under the controlled condition at a relatively low day temperature were more tolerant to the ozone than being grown in the higher temperature. The vitamin B have also been observed to accumulate in higher concentration at 10 to 15 degrees temperature in green vegetables, but in tomatoes the accumulation was maximal at 27 to 30 degrees centigrade temperature for vitamin B also. Flower initiation often depends on the temperature. Initiation of the flower is also depends on the temperature only. The difference between the day and night temperature. If the day temperature is more and night temperature is less, have been shown to the regulate the stem elongation and flower stalk initiation. So that will also affect if the temperature is less in daytime and more in nighttime or more in nighttime, less in daytime. So it will also affect the development of flower stalk. High humidity. During the growing season, result in thin rind and increase the size in some horticultural produce. And the high produce is more prone to the high incidence of disease during the storage period. So if the humidity is more, then what will happen? The incidence of disease will be more. So we have to maintain a limited medium humidity only. Due to high humidity, the incidence of disease will be more. Damaged produce remove the damaged produce remove the water very quickly and emits a larger concentration of ethylene than healthy ones. Low humidity may cause browning of leaf heads and plant with thick leaves or leaflets. The high humidity can maintain the water pol- pollutants in a condition so that they can be more easily absorbed through the cuticles or the stomata. Reduced transpiration leads to the calcium and other elements deficiency. Low relative humidity can result in the past difference party partying on the calcium and bone in the vegetables, resulting in nutritional disorders such as blossom and rot in tomato and tip burn in lettuce. So if the humidity is less, then what will happen? There is some disorders will be developed in tomato and lettuce. In tomato, blossom and rot due to the low humidity, and in lettuce, there is a in lettuce, what will happen? Tip burn in lettuce. Irrigation and rainfall. Moisture stress increase the rate of transpiration or the rate of absorption. And irregular irrigation moisture regime leads to fruits and vegetables cracking in potato and pomegranate fruits. So normally when we apply the water to the fruits, irrigation to the fruits, when the fruits are developing case of pomegranate, if that time during the development of the fruit or when the fruits are completely mature, that time if we apply the water to the pomegranate fruits, then what will happen? The cracking will be start. Same in case of potato. So that time we have to not apply the any water. High level of moisture stress affect the both yield and quality and decrease the cell elongation. Crop which have the higher moisture content generally have poor storage life. The moisture content will be more, the storage life will be less. If the moisture content will be less, then we can store them for the longer period of the time. Like dried fruits and vegetables, we can store them for the longer period of the time as compared to the normal. The hybrid onion, which tends to give the higher yield of bulbs with low dry matter content, but which have only a very shorter storage life. If the fully matured banana harvested soon after rainfall or irrigation, the fruits can easily split during the handling. operation, allowing the microorganisms, infections, and post-harvest rotting. Similarly, the excess water supply to the plant result in the cracking of the fruits such as cherries, plum, and tomatoes. So, if we apply the more amount of water, so that will also cause the cracking of the fruits. So, the time of irrigation is very important. So, normally, if we apply the more water, like in pomegranate and all, the cracking will be occur. Same, they will affect the quality of the produce. Next is cultural operation. Cultural operation help in the prolong the shelf life of fruits and vegetables, like pruning and thinning. Like for we can take example of pruning and thinning. Pruning and thinning is increase the fruit size and decrease the TSS and acidity. The fruit thinning means increase the fruit size but reduce the total yield. If we go for thinning means the total yield will be reduced but the size of the fruits will be good. In case of pruning also the size of the fruits is good but the TSS content is reduced. So these are the beneficial effect and side effect of the pruning and thinning. It helps in the obtaining the better quality produce than in various tree like apple and kiwi. Fruit position. Fruit position is the in the tree is most important. Fruit which are exposed to the high light environment possess the higher TSS, fruit size, aroma, and shelf life as compared to the which lies inside the canopy. Means some fruits they are inside the canopy, so there the quality is not as much good as they are some fruits they are directly exposed to the sunlight. Because the direct sunlight will come and the quality will be increased. But in case of some fruits they are not exposed to the direct sunlight, so their quality will be not good. Hence, the better training system should be practiced to circulate the optimum light and air, like in open central system in apple, tree bath system in kiwi fruits. So these are the important when we grow the apple. So we have to use the tree bath system, or when we grow the kiwi fruits, we have to use the tree bath system or central leader system we can use in apple, so that we can increase the production and we can increase the quality of the produce. Next is griddling. Increase the fruit size and synchronize fruit maturity in peaches and nectarine. If you go for griddling, it will increase the fruit size and synchronize maturity means at a time all fruits will be mature. So it will be beneficial at a time we can harvest the fruits. It also increases the fruitfulness in many fruit tree species. The post-harvest quality of citrus fruit is increased significantly with trifoliate orange. Tangelo and Coleoptera are the used as a rootstock. The excessive irrigation before harvesting decrease the shelf life and sensory quality, while the insufficient irrigation enhance the maturity of the crops. So when we go for irrigation of the crop, that is also very important. We not apply the excessive irrigation, and we if the insufficient irrigation is there, then it also affect the quality. For root crops, preparation of the soil to the tilth or the post nature is necessary to avoid the root forking. So in rooty vegetables like in case of carrot and radish, what will happen if seeds will develop and the roots will develop during the time if there is a hot path is there is a hot tilt are there. So that time what will happen the forking will be occurs, and that forked means it will divide it into two or three parts and it will not accepted by the consumers. Irregular irrigation causes the cracking of the carrot and radish and splitting of outer scales of onion. So that is also due to the irregular irrigation. In onion and garlic, irrigation should be stopped 3 weeks before harvesting to ensure the better keeping quality. Means normally when we go for harvesting of onion or we can go for harvesting of garlic, but before 3 weeks we have to stop the irrigation to increase the quality of the onion. Application of nutrients. The balanced application of all nutrient elements is necessary for maintaining the growth and development of the plant. The application of fertilizers to grow influence their post-harvest respiration rate. Excessive or deficiency of certain element can affect the crop quality and its post-harvest life. Numerous physiological disorders are also associated with the mineral deficiency, which ultimately lead to the post-harvest losses. So we can see there is a effect of nutrients, like we have to apply the NPK, calcium, magnesium, sulfur, and micronutrients. If we not apply that micronutrients or NPK, then what will happen? It will affect the quality of the produce. Like we can see the examples. The quality of the fruits is improved by the application of potassium, magnesium, and zinc, while the higher nitrogen and phosphorus deteriorate the quality. Means we have to, if we want to maintain the quality, we have to apply the potassium, magnesium, zinc. But if we apply the nitrogen and phosphorus, then it will deteriorate the quality, it will reduce the quality. Heavy application of nitrogenous fertilizers causes the faster tissue deterioration. So normally we can say that we have to apply the urea. So if urea also we apply in larger quantity, then it will also affect the quality. It will cause the deterioration of the tissue. While essential supply of keeping quality of the vegetables. Molybdenum deficiency in cabbage causes the heart rot. Magnesium deficiency in peas leads to the March spot of pea, and excessive irrigation and fertilization causes the hollow heart in potato. So these are the deficiency of different micronutrients like molybdenum, magnesium, and zinc. The higher the rate of fertilizers like phosphorus produces the higher sugar content in tomatoes. If we apply the higher amount of sugar, higher amount of phosphorus, it will increase the higher sugar content in tomatoes as measured by the soluble solids. The concentration then did low rates. The potassium can also have the significant impact upon the crop quality. The optimum level of potassium elicit elicit a favorable response in vitamin C content. Potassium concentration and pH had limited effect on pip burn in several lettuce crop. Tickburn did appears to be related to the cultivar's type and environmental condition maintained during the greenhouse growth. So tickburn is also occurs when we not apply the nutrients, so that the tip is exposed to the hot sunlight. That time also tip burn is occur. So that both it will be due to the nutrient deficiency also, and it will be due to the exposure. Higher nitrogen fertilizers reduce while moderate to high potassium improve the storage life. So if we apply the higher amount of nitrogen, it will be reduce the storage life. For higher amount of potassium, it will improve the storage life. Application of potassium in water melon tends to decrease the post-harvest respiration. The higher level of nitrogen tends to decrease the flavor, TSS, firmness, color of the fruits, and decrease the physiological disorders. The higher nitrogen increase the fruit respiration, fosters the tissue deterioration, thereby reducing the storage life of the fruits and vegetables. Application of phosphorus minimize the weight loss, sprouting and rotting in bulb crop, also reduces the respiration compared to the with the lower application. So if we apply the phosphorus, also it will increase the sprouting and rotting in bulb crop also. If we apply into the in a proper manner. If we apply in a lower manner, means it will reduce. Phosphorus nutrients can alter the post-harvest physiology of some produce by affecting the membrane lipids chemistry, membrane integrity, and respiratory metabolism. Potassium, it will improve the keeping quality. The deficiency can brings the abnormal ripening of fruits and vegetables. So potassium mainly used to improve the keeping quality, but the deficiency of potassium, it will cause the abnormal ripening of fruits and vegetables. Calcium is associated with the texture. So the higher level of N, magnesium, and low level of potassium and boron leads to the calcium deficiency in fruits and reduce its storage life. So next we can see the physiological disorders due to the low calcium content. So in different fruits there is a different type of physiological disorders that is occurs due to the deficiency of calcium, like bitter pit in apple due to the deficiency of calcium, cork spot in pears, blossom and rot in tomato due to the low calcium content, tick bug in lettuce, and hollow heart in potato. It is also due to the calcium deficiency. Reduce the blotch of lemons. That is also due to the deficiency of the calcium. Next is pre-harvest chemical treatments. So before harvesting, we have to give some chemical treatments to increase the post-harvest shelf life of the fruits and vegetables. Use of chemicals on the plants to prevent the pathogen will have direct impact on extending the post-harvest life. Generally, if produce has suffered an infection during the developments, its storage and marketable life may be adversely affected. The post-harvest shelf life of fruits and vegetables is improved by pre-harvest application of chemicals. The three spray of toxin M 0.1%, Bavestin 0.1% at 15 days interval before harvesting can control the anthracnose and stem and rotted mangoes. Similarly, post-harvest decay of Nagpur mandarins can control by 3 pre-harvest spray of 0.1% Pallet, 0.1% Toxin M and 0.1% Bavestin at 15 days interval. Pre-harvest treatment of onion with malic hetasite. Malic hetasite is mainly used to inhibit the rooting. So if we go for pre-harvest treatment of onion with malic hetasite, sprout inhibitors resulted in reduce the incidence of bulb decay and over 3 months and root sprouting. It will reduce the sprouting of the roots. Treatments of potatoes with sprout inhibitors. So if sprout inhibitors we can use CIPC. CIPC we can use. That is the full name of CIPC is chloroform we can use. So isopropanoyl 3-chlorophenyl carbonate we can use result in the significant increase in the total nitrogen and protein nitrogen following the 16 week of storage of 5 degrees centigrade temperature. So we can, if we use the CIPC, we can store the fruits and vegetables for 16 weeks at 5 degrees centigrade temperature because CIPC will reduce the sprouting. Next is in broccoli plants and heads were treated with the benza, benzyl adenine, a treatment that has not yet been approved for commercial use as either a pre-harvest spray or the post-harvest tip, and the quality was evaluated over time. In Rabi and Kharif onion, the application of 1500 to 2000 ppm of malic adazide 75 to 90 days after transplanting reduces the sprouting during the 4 to 5 months of storage in ventilated structures. So these are the different chemicals that we use to increase the storage life of the fruits and vegetables. The post-harvest disease of tomato and onion can be controlled by 3 pre-harvest spray of 0.1% difolathine at 10 days interval. Similarly, pre-harvest application of growth promoters such as N-benzyl adenine 10 to 20 ppm prolong shelf life of leafy vegetables. The pre-harvest application of chemicals like BA, IAA, GA3, growth retardants like B9, CCC, a rest, and the phosphon D have been reported to improve the quality and the longevity of the flower crops. The application of GA3 at the rate of 10, 50 to 100 ppm, it will improve the post-harvest quality of roses by anthocyanin development, and it also help in accumulation of N, K and magnesiums and sulfur. Pre-harvest spray with LR 1500 ppm and cytosine 500 ppm increase the best life of ester. Use of growth regulators in fruit crops. Like in mango, we use the NAE at the rate of 200 ppm. It will reduce the fruit drop. To reduce the fruit drop, we can use the NAE 200 ppm. To control the pre-harvest fruit drop, we use the 240 at the rate of 20 ppm in case of citrus. In case of sapota, we increase the NAA, naphthalic acetic acid 20 ppm to increase the fruit set and yield. In apple, we use NAA at the rate of 20 ppm to prevent the pre-harvest fruit drops. So 2,4-D means 2,4-dichlorophenilyl acetic acid and an ethylic acetic acid. So these all are the growth regulators that are normally used. Next is maturity. The post-harvest quality and storage life of fruits are controlled by maturity. If fruits are harvested at a proper stage of maturity, their quality is excellent. The vegetables are harvested as and when they are attain a maximum size and yet are tender. The over maturity in root crops causes the sponginess and pithiness, and it is not accepted by the consumers. Their harvesting should not be delayed. It means and we have to harvest the fruits and at particular time we not delay the harvesting. If we delay the harvesting, it will not accepted by the consumers. Delay in harvesting reduces the shelf life as onion and garlic reduces their storage life with delay the harvesting. Harvesting should be done during the a part of the day, preferably in the morning. The producers should be shifted to the shed as early as possible. Normally, we harvest the fruits at morning or evening time. And just after harvesting, we have to sift them into the cold palace so that it will be not exposed to the direct sunlight. Harvesting during hot period raises the field heat of the produce and causes the wilting and shriveling. The harvesting during the immediately after rains should not be carried out, since it creates a most favorable condition for multiplication of microorganisms. So just after rain also we have to not harvest the fruits and vegetables because it will cause the attack of microorganisms. Citrus fruits become susceptible to damage if harvested during the rains as their rind become turgid and prone to the easy bruising, sunscald and oleocelosis. Care in harvesting is necessary as any bruises or injuries during the harvesting may later manifest as a black or brown patches making during the unattractive means it will be not accepted by the consumers. Latex coming out from the stem in the mango should not be allowed to fall on the fruits and it creates a black spot. Means normally when we harvest the mango, the latex will come out. That latex will come out on the fruits, so it will cause the black spot on the mango and it will not accepted by the consumers. Injury to peel may cause an entire and 3 point for the microorganisms, causing rotting. Small cabbage heads are higher in ascorbic acid concentration than the larger heads. The small turnip leaves contain more thymine and riboflavin but less in carotene than the larger leaf. Carotenoids tends to increase during the ripening of the fruits reduce such as in tomatoes. Generally, fruits that have the shorter production seasons and mature earlier have a shorter storage life than the slower maturing fruits. So these all are the pre-harvest factors that affect the post-harvest shelf life of the fruits and vegetables. So that's all for today's. Thank you.